In this video we're going to look at the difference between email and entry owner. I appreciate that these two things can be very confusing, so we're going to take a bit more of an in-depth look at these. I've created a new page on my site called Email versus Entry Owner, and what I'm going to do is create a quick search so we can see the difference between email and entry owner. So let's add a new database, and we're actually going to add a search on the database. Versus email, that'll do. I'll hurry through this. So I'm about to create the search, and we have the standard fields that we can use and the standard access controls. So I'm going to close all of this for the moment, and we're going to have a look over here. So I'm going to disable Recaptcha for the moment. We'll do another video on that, and we're just going to look at the entry owner email address. Now each item, each entry into the database should have an entry owner. It is possible to do it without, but it's advised against unless you're doing a very open database where you just want people to add and not edit or not delete. So what we are going to do is just quickly look at the difference between the two. So we'll grab our shortcode and add it to that page. Right, so now we have our page with the search form added. Here it says your own email, so I could actually change that to say anything to make it even more confusing. Now this email here refers to our entry owner. It's got nothing to do with the search, it just has everything to do with access control. If we add a field to our search on there and we use the email field, it's gone in the wrong place, I'm going to move it up, and we'll put email here, and we'll say required. If we look at our page again, now clearly that is enormously confusing. One email refers to our search and the other email refers to our access control. So what do we do here? So right now the default label for our entry owner is we can just put entry owner's email. We could do that, or we could put your own email, something like that, but an entry owner is identified by their email address. We'll add entry owner's email for the moment. Let's have a look at the page. So that's a little clearer. However, it's still complex to understand. So this is why generally when we need the entry owner's email, what we'll do is we will create the requirement to connect to the database or search. So let's do that. So if we go to access control, so under database settings, access control, the last item, and what we're going to do is we're going to, in this instance, we're going to completely remove the entry owner field. So to do that, we're going to put private on loading the form, so the form won't even appear until we are connected. So let's save that. Now down here, entry owner can actually be anything. It's not going to mean anything because we're not going to see it, because all it does is in the background it just makes sure we are connected. So if we have a look at our page again, we'll see that we cannot see the form at all until we're connected. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have my own email server and I can actually put any email address in here and it will work. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect as the example email which we've been using, which is test@test.com, and we'll see what happens. Get the padlock, get the email, paste in the code, and connect. So we are now connected and it's reloaded. Now email actually means email, so rather than it being anything to do with the entry owner, it's just an email to search on. So I'll just go back to the database and I'll show you what I mean. So hide all these settings. This here, email, now relates to this. So if I change the name here, so contacts email, and we have a look at this again, we'll see contacts email, and we can now search on the contacts email. So let's search on an email address I know. I think this belongs to Rachel, so we'll submit that. And there we go, there's Rachel Mills. So hopefully that clears up the difference between an email which is used as a field versus the email that is used to identify the entry owner.